Hey everyone, Allison Berger here with Blockchain Global News. I am at TokenMatch in New York City, and I am now ready to have an intimate conversation with the CEO and founder of Intimate.io. Intimate.io.
That's us.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Reuben, Coppa, tell me everything there is to know about Intimate.io.
Right, in this short period of time. Basically, we're a cryptocurrency focused on the adult industry, but looking at trust and reputation as well as just payments. So
you're going to have to go into a little bit more detail for me.
I am. I mean, so I've been in Bitcoin for 5 or so years. I think it's a great technology. I think it's going to change the world, and decentralization is here to stay. I think payments are also a fantastic use case for blockchain technology.
Okay.
At the moment, though, for most consumers, it's very easy for them to pay. They can tap their credit cards or sign here. It's quite easy to make transfers. So the, I guess, changeover for people moving from a technology they're very used to something that's new is taking longer than some people thought it might.
Definitely.
The kind of areas where that's accelerated is vice tech. So anything where people are currently underserved by the existing financial institutions. So you look at adult, you look at, say, medical marijuana, you look at gambling. These are areas where you're seeing blockchain technology have more of a immediate effect, because it's got a very real-time use case. It's not just conceptual. People actually need to use it for these things because they don't have that many alternatives.
It seems like it could be quite controversial. What type of reactions have you been getting?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's kind of, we've been in the space for 6 months now. I'm kind of a little bit more used to that kind of the reactions that people have. But honestly, when you explain it to most people from a use case perspective, whether they're crypto investors, whether they're institutions, or whether they're consumers, they kind of, they understand it and they get it. I think, the attitudes are changing towards how people approach vice tech industries, whether that is medical marijuana or whether that's adult. People are more used to the idea now that most people like having sex, and they're probably going to try and use apps to do that. Whereas 10 years ago, you wouldn't admit online dating.
Right.
You'd pretend that wasn't something you didn't do. That was something you didn't do.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So where do you see yourself growing, and what's in the future for Intimate.io?
So I mean, I think that area is one of the biggest ones. It's dating. It's people looking to hook up. And one of the biggest use cases we've seen for Intimate is the paid dating or seeking arrangement type models. So like a sugar daddy type models, right? Where you've got two parties who want to meet. They want to know something about the other party. They don't want to know their ID, but they want to know they can trust them. And ideally, they want to know that they've been verified in some way. Now, these sites at the moment are very archaic. You select your net worth or income from a drop-down. You select your age from a drop-down. You pay a fee maybe to verify that you've got some kind of intent, but there's no verification there. Now, blockchain technology and what Intimate's doing is an ideal step, because you can verify things about yourself, such as having your age verified, without actually identifying yourself in person.
Interesting. So how are you doing that exactly?
So the other aspect of that makes a lot of sense is then how the counterparty verifies. So to start from the start, if you wanted to interact within the Intimate ecosystem, anyone can create a wallet address. It's like creating a Bitcoin or Ethereum address. And every time you transact within the system, you gain some reputation. So that could be consuming something online, that could be buying goods, or that could be interacting in person, say dating or paid dating.
Right.
So that's the basic way, is that you earn reputation through transacting. The thing is, you've got to start off with reputation from somewhere. So you can augment that in a couple of ways. One is using a third-party oracle. And these are like Jumios or Verify IDs or Green IDs. These are sites you would go to as a consumer. You would show them your ID and say, I am me, I have this verification. And they would sign your Intimate ID not with that, but that they know who you are, that you are over 18 or over 21 or whatever it is that you're looking to be able to prove.
Okay.
And then when you interact with someone else, they'll be able to see that that's been verified, but not be revealed to your personal details.
Okay, now it's making a little bit more sense.
It's a lot to get through, and there's a lot of aspects that can kind of contribute to it. One of the other important stuff is being able to bond, or like a two-party escrow. So if you're looking to meet someone and you're worried they might not show up, or you're worried your safety might be potentially compromised, they're not a real person, you can get them to basically put a deposit in, which you will match, or you can choose the ratio, which both of you stand to lose, or both of you get back. So it's a very basic and not completely ideal mechanism, but it's far better than the situation now where lots of people are going on dates or blind dates knowing nothing about the other party, apart from a rating from one piece of software.
So there's a little, like it is, a security in it.
Right, exactly right.
So what type of reputation do you think you're leaving TokenMatch with today?
Well, the first is, I guess it's the way that's gone through with this interview, right? At first, it's kind of, what are you talking about? And then it's like, that's kind of a bit risque. And then it's like, well, actually, there's a pretty solid use case there, and I can see how that would work. So that's kind of why Michael Turpin's one of our advisors, Alphabet's one of our lead investors, like people in the space who've been there for a while, who appreciate the technology and where it's going, get it. And it's just about accelerating that education journey for people who are kind of newer to the space and who are maybe looking at the kind of more corporate, more kind of institutional use cases, that there are real use cases here for the general masses that'll accelerate adoption a lot quicker.
Do you find, because of the reaction and all the steps that it takes, that you have to pitch it a little bit harder, or it takes it a little bit longer for people that are interested in investing to grab a hold?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the interesting ones is, though, we find out quite quickly that often it's people who either get it and then invest, or they get it and keep asking questions but are still not going to quite make that final jump. Whether it's because they're a fund or they're a family office or they've got reservations, it still is a difficult industry for a lot of people to get their head around and to kind of be willing to kind of, I guess, invest in. So it takes people who are either really familiar with the tech or really familiar with the use case and kind of the benefits for the industry as a whole. And they're the guys that are kind of jumping in. And then it's the second generation referrals from them, which is why we've had such a big event presence over the last 6 months.
Great. It's fantastic. I think it's a really cool concept.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
No worries. Thanks for your time.
So until next time, I'm Allison Berger for Blockchain Global News.